Okay, welcome aboard, everybody. It's Saturday baseball, all right? So, it's me, the Roto Lady, doing Saturday baseball with Leonard here in the audience right next to me. Say hello, Leonard.
Hello there, everybody.
So I hope you guys enjoy his company in the chat room. Every Saturday you get it. So I'd like to start out with a couple things. First is a study that was posted just recently in the chat room by Boston Paul. And I'd like to make sure that the sound is good, but I'm just going to go ahead and read this title of this article. It says, "Climate change is adding 50 home runs a year in MLB, study says." Well, first of all, it's clickbait, and if you actually read the article, you can find out that really the truth is that it says non-climate factors contribute even more to the barrage of balls flying out of the park, scientists and baseball veterans say. The biggest is the ball and the size of the stitches. Okay, others include batters' recent attention to launch angle, stronger hitters, and faster pitches. The study started after the end of baseball's infamous steroids era saw a spike in home run. But basically what they're trying to say, they're trying to convince you that climate change is now causing home runs in baseball. You have to be the most you have to be so gullible to believe in all of this climate change nonsense. The global warming has not... Please show me some scientific fact that says that the globe has warmed over the last 15, 20, 30, 40 years. And every single, crazy prediction that these climate alarmists have told you over the past 50 years, not one of them has come true. They said we're going to have an ice age. Then they said we're not going to have any more snow. Then they said that the ice is going to melt and we're going to go underwater. None of this stuff has happened, including the sea rising, the ocean level rising. It hasn't risen in 50 years. So I just don't get it. But MLB is now on the bandwagon. And another thing that I'd like to rant about real quick before I get started on baseball. This is baseball. MLB is so excited about promoting all this diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they probably are very proud of the fact that they empower women, right? I've been watching Quick Pitch practically every day for the past 15 years. I remember Hazel when she was the host of Quick Pitch, and she looked nice. She looked respectable. They're all this pushing this equity, inclusion, and all this stuff, but when you put out women on a stage and you dress them up like a Barbie doll hooker, it's unprofessional and it doesn't empower women. I understand that men like to look at women who look nice. I have no problem with that. But when you say you're empowering women and then you put her in a hooker dress with pink high heels and standing there reading off a teleprompter, to me, that doesn't empower women. And I'm just one opinion, but in case you haven't noticed, I am a woman. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go on the tidbits and then the box scores. Spencer Strider. He's gotten at least half of his outs via strikeout in each of his last 12 regular season starts dating back to last year. That's the longest streak by any MLB pitcher in the modern era. He is having a fantastic season. Spencer Strider, everybody kind of knew he would. I mean, he's one of the few that we drafted in the top rounds of our draft that's still healthy. I'm just amazed at how many pitchers are out and have hit the injured list already this year. It's probably climate change. Marlins number one prospect Yuri Perez made his debut last night. They promoted him. He's 20 years old. He came straight up from Double-A to start the series opener last night. Next week he gets to pitch against the Nationals. We'll talk more about what he did when we go over the box scores. Chris Bassett threw the Blue Jays' first individual shutout in a 9-inning game since 2015. Mark Burley did it. And this is an interesting thing because not only did Chris Bassett throw a complete game shutout yesterday, but the Blue Jays had the longest number of consecutive games without a complete game. Okay, you can't message me while I'm in the middle of a podcast. The Blue Jays haven't had a streak. Their streak of going without a complete game or a shutout was the longest in Major League Baseball history. It snapped a streak of 889 consecutive games without a complete game and 1,176 consecutive games without a complete game shutoffs. The longest streaks in MLB history. So congratulations to Chris Bassett. And by the way, we're going to talk some about, I'd like to point out how little run support some of these teams are giving these pitchers, like Kevin Gausman, another Blue Jays, and some other. We have a list of teams that are just not giving their pitchers any kind of run support, which is really hurting their, their stat line. These pitchers that are just striking out tons of batters and they get like one run of support. It's horrible. Anyway, Emmanuel Valdez. His parents were at Fenway last night. He was playing. They were there to watch him play for the first time in an MLB game, and then he hit a homer right for his parents. So that was an exciting night for Valdez's parents. White Sox second baseman have an OBP of 186 and slugging 211 this year. In 2019, multiple NL pitching staffs had better offensive numbers. That is true. In 2019, there were multiple pitching staffs with better offensive numbers than the White Sox second baseman. It's horrible. Also, Tim Anderson has a batting average under 250 in May for the first time in 5 years. The Rays are baseball's best team, but they're having their pitching depth tested. Now they have Drew Rasmussen just placed on the 60-day injured list with a flexor strain. Matt McClain. Okay, so why aren't the Reds bringing up their youngsters? Why aren't the Mets bringing up their youngsters? This is getting very frustrating watching these poor Reds. And also, it's like they're telling Joey Votto that he doesn't have a place to play this year because the youngsters need to get opportunity. Well, they have a couple rookies in the minors right now just tearing up the joint. They have Matt McClain. He hit his 12th home run yesterday. And the Reds are the worst team in baseball for offense. For power. They're the worst power hitting team in baseball, which seems odd since their ballpark is like a mecca for home runs. Ellie De La Cruz in the last 10 days in the minors, 44 plate appearances, 368 batting average, 455 on-base percentage, 3 doubles, 5 home runs, 11.4% walk rate, and an 18.2% strikeout rate. Where are the Reds? Why aren't they bringing up these youngsters? They've already told Votto he doesn't have a spot to play. And you know what? I'm sure Votto would be fine with that as long as you bring up the good youngsters and quit trying to pounce out there these ridiculous youngsters. Let's get the fans excited. They have no power in Cincinnati, and they're not bringing up their great hitting youngsters. Same with the Mets. I know Lenny was going to put something in the chat room about the Mets youngsters. They could really use their youngsters right now. It makes no sense to me because I think we're pretty much at the point in the calendar year where these youngsters can be brought up without costing the team a year of control. Casey Schmidt, nice first impression with the San Francisco Giants, 8 for 12, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a 2 OPS. He's the second MLB player to have at least 8 hits, 4 RBIs, and 4 runs scored over his first 3 career games since 1920. The other one was Joe DiMaggio. So Casey Schmidt off to a nice start with the Giants. The Mets are the second team in MLB history to win 100 games and then get shut out 7 or more times within the first 40 games of the following season. The other team that did it was the Cardinals in like 1985 or something. JD Martinez is officially back. The Dodgers reinstated Martinez from the injured list after he missed 15 games with lower back tightness. And Max Scherzer, who has neck spasms, threw about 35 pitches in his first bullpen session since missing his Tuesday start. He finished with one of his usual fist bumps. It seems like it went well. He is likely to pitch today. The Mets had Tyler McGill listed as the starter on Friday and Joey Lucchesi Saturday. Sunday, which is tomorrow, and Monday are... Oh, wait, I say he's going to pitch today. I'm sorry about that. He'll likely pitch tomorrow, Sunday. They already had Tyler McGill pitch last night. Lucchesi will pitch today. And it's on their calendar right now. It says Sunday and Monday are to be determined. But because of Max Scherzer had a nice 35-pitch outing, he should be ready to pitch tomorrow. Got that? Got that, Leonard?
I say Monday.
Maybe Monday. Lenny says Monday. So hang tight. If you have Scherzer, put him back in your lineup. And if you're lucky, he'll pitch Monday and then he'll get a 2-start week. The Mets are 5-10 against left-handed pitching, and their DHs versus left-handed pitching are batting .182 with a .260 on-base percentage. They're actually facing 2 lefty starters this series, and it would be a nice time to see some Mark Vientos, right? We've already touched on that. Where are these youngsters that are tearing up the minors and have nothing left to prove? They need to come up and help us people out who like to play fantasy and need some help. Luis Severino is still making rehab starts. He's expected to throw 3 to 4 innings, up to 50 pitches. His next scheduled minor league rehab start will be on May 16th, which is Tuesday. The White Sox just dropped 3 of 4 games to the Royals. Okay, that's not surprising. Juan Soto reaching base as good as ever. Now, if you're in an on-base percentage league, you probably haven't even noticed that Juan Soto is having a bad season because he still has probably the best OBP in baseball. Even though he's striking out, even though he's not hitting homers, he's still getting on base like a madman. He's got 65 times that he has reached 65 different games he has reached base safely 4 or more times before turning 25. That's since 1901. The only other people to do it, Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Jimmy Fox, and Archie Vaughan. Vaughan or Vaughn?
Vaughn.
Do you know him, Leonard?
Archie Vaughan, you got that right.
Do you know Archie Vaughan?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I'm going to start calling you Archie.
Why?
Because you're an Archie. Go ahead. Keep going.
It's okay. It's better than Boog.
Tell that story.
Lenny one time told me I looked like Boog Powell. Right?
Yes, I did.
And that wasn't very nice, was it?
Well, you didn't know who Boog Powell was.
I had no idea who he was. The reason that he said it is because he's a lefty first baseman. And I was a lefty first baseman. But he's also chunky, right?
Blonde hair.
And he had blonde hair. Sorry. Oh, the only thing a woman sees when you compare her to somebody is their body size. Anyway, Marcus Stroman. Here's a good example of this is a good example. This is when we're going to start talking about the fact that these guys are not getting run support. Marcus Stroman has thrown at least 6 innings and allowed 2 or fewer runs in each of his last 3 starts. The Cubbies scored a total of 4 runs in those 3 starts. Let me say it again. He has thrown at least 6 innings and allowed 2 runs or fewer in each of his last 3 starts. The Cubbies scored a total of 4 runs those 3 starts. Now you look at another one on here. If you look at the most whiffs over the last 300 pitches thrown, you have Spencer Strider, Freddie Peralta, Ohtani, Hunter Green, Clayton Kershaw, Kevin Gausman, Ian Hamilton, and Lance Lynn. Now, I'm going to refer back to Gausman. 52 whiffs in the last 300 pitches. The Toronto Blue Jays have provided Kevin Gausman with 13 runs in his 48 innings of work. In 8 starts, they provided 13 runs. That means they're averaging 1.6 runs per outing for his run support. That's just horrible. So you got a lot of good pitchers out here that are throwing strikes, getting people to whiff, and what do? They don't get any run support. Jonah Heim is the 11th best OPS in the majors with 942. That's great. He's a catcher, okay? He's actually ahead of Yordan Alvarez, Mike Trout, Vladdy Jr., and Ohtani. He beats all of them with OPS. Jonah Heim, the catcher. Justin Verlander, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 104 pitches, and he was still hitting 97 miles per hour in his final inning. That's excellent, okay? The The Rays are paying their entire pitching staff $22 million. Max Scherzer plus Justin Verlander, that equals $86 million this season. The Rays are paying their entire pitching staff, included all of their bullpen guys, $22 million. David Robertson to start his Mets career. He's doing great. 15 and a third innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 20 strikeouts, and he's 7 for 7 in save chances. What a gift from God, from the Mets gods. When what's their closer's name?
David Familia?
You know, the guy that was just hurt.
Oh, Diaz.
It's not Familia. Yeah, Edwin Diaz. They had nobody. David Robertson comes in, and look, the Mets aren't giving they're not getting a lot of save chances, but the ones that they are getting, David Robertson, the old-timer, the veteran, okay, he's coming in, he's getting it done. He's probably like 33 or something, and I'm calling him an old-timer. Welcome to baseball. The Rangers are almost 10 games above 500. They've been without their best player almost a month, and they're really not taking that big of a hit, losing Jacob deGrom. Daniel Vogelbach has reached base multiple times in 6 of his last 8 starts. The Boston Red Sox have a velocity lab. Okay, here's the thing. This is from Pitching Ninja. He put out a tweet saying that the Boston Red Sox have a velocity lab now because, and you can tell it's really paying off because Chris Sale, and Kenley Jansen are both throwing 99 miles an hour. Can you imagine? Neither of these guys ever threw 99 mile an hour in their prime. Right now they're doing it. The Red Sox have a velocity lab in their pitching, what do you call it? In their pitching clubhouse. In their gym. Zach Gallen, let's talk about my boy Zach Gallen. This guy's been blown off by everybody. He's been blown off even on the draft when he was drafted, okay? What year was it? 2016 in the MLB rookie draft. He was not drafted until 106th pick. 30 teams passed him up 3 times. Here's his quote. He said, "I was the second to last pick in the 3rd round, so essentially every team passed on me 3 times. 10 of the 30 baseball writers who vote for NL Cy Young didn't believe that Gallen was worth even a top 5 pick after going 12-4 with a 2.5 ERA and 192 strikeouts last year, including 8-2 with a 1.49 ERA in the second half of the season." Seriously, what are they putting these guys in on? They're not putting it in on stats. Gallen's been excellent for the past several years. I'm sure their excuse is something like, oh, well, he didn't play for a good team. He didn't help his team win. I don't care. It's bull dinky and poppycock. It's not, why do we even have people voting on this? The thing is, if you pitch the best, you get the Cy Young Award. Put it into a computer. It really shouldn't be based on anything other than the stats that you put out. It shouldn't be based on your team. It shouldn't be based on the record of the team. It shouldn't be based on whether the writers like you or not, or whether they really like you, and then you get, it doesn't matter. None of it. The fact of the matter is that the Cy Young Award should be easily given every year based on the best pitching stats in baseball. Simple, simple. Gallen tied his season high victory with 7 innings, and he likely could have gone deeper than 7 innings because it only took him 90 pitches to get through 7 innings. He didn't allow any home runs for the 6th straight outing and registered his 5th quality start over that span. He actually started the season 2 subpar starts, but since then, he's been incredible across his past 6 trips to the mound. His ERA is .92, and his whip is .62. And I'll say something again, because I'm feeling like being in a ranting mood today. He's much better pitcher than Garrett Cole, but I guarantee you, when it all comes down to it, Garrett Cole will get all kinds of votes for Cy Young with 3.57 ERA, and Zach Gallen will get passed up again. Because it's Garrett Cole, and they like him. Also, another thing about Gallen, 54 strikeouts and 2 walks over 39 innings. 54 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. He's tied for the National League lead with 5 wins and ranks second in MLB with 64 strikeouts on the campaign. Kershaw yesterday, and I think it was a day game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Malpal here?
Yes.
Tell me if it was a day game yesterday, because I think that Kershaw does excellent in day games, even though it's hard to really discern between day and night with him. He's excellent in general. He made his 406th start for the Dodgers. 406. 7 innings, a solo home run allowed, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. All right, here's another writer with an opinion talking about how important velocity is and claims that velocity doesn't just make your fastball better, it makes your entire arsenal better, which to me, look, I disagree that velocity is everything. I don't think velocity makes your arsenal better, especially because most of these people that are throwing 100 miles an hour every time they go out there, they don't have great breaking ball stuff. They don't have great arsenal. They usually made it to the majors based on their fastball and their fastball alone because they throw 102, 103, and then they get looked at. But most of them don't have 3, 4, 5 other pitches to complement their fastball. And that, my friend, proves that the velocity is not everything. Your arsenal, to me, is so much more important than your velocity. Knowing when to throw a pitch is more important than how fast you throw it. And also, one of the biggest downsides of throwing 100 miles an hour every time you go out there is the fact that you're just asking for Tommy John, and it's a matter of time before it happens. All of these pitchers throwing over 100 miles an hour are asking for Tommy John. They talk about Jack Flaherty and how he had a 2.75 ERA in 2019, and now he has a 6.18 ERA in 2023. He is saying that the answer to that is simple. His velocity in 2019 was 94 to 98 miles an hour, and now he's throwing 92 to 95 miles an hour, basically blaming this whole thing on velocity. Well, don't forget that Jack Flaherty only threw 23 innings all season last year, so that could count towards his drop in velocity. And when you talk about velocity and you see that the velocity has dropped 3-4 miles per hour, yes, that's a serious red flag. And I believe for sure that is going to harm a pitcher's ability to put up good stats, whatever. It's going to harm their success, but you have to look at why did their velocity drop? Why is his velocity down? Is he hurt? Maybe he's already thrown more innings this year than he did all of last year. The velocity drop is not that big of a surprise, but maybe he is hurt. But instead of saying that velocity is everything, you should absolutely point out that when a pitcher's velocity drops that extreme over one season and they're not high up there in age, there is something wrong with that. A lot of it to me is probably the fact that he hasn't thrown a lot of innings. So that's my opinion. And I have a lot of them today, so get ready. Mickey Moniak, the former number 1 pick in the 2016 draft by the Phillies, is back in the major leagues. He was being called up by the Angels. All right, that's your tidbits for the day. Let's get into the game highlights. Lenny's taking control of the chat room. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's so nice that you come and join me. Cincinnati beat Miami yesterday 7-4. Jake Fraley homered twice, including a tie-breaking 3-run shot. It was Fraley's first career multi-home run game yesterday. And Yuri Perez, he's very exciting. He only turned 20 on April 15th. He's the youngest pitcher in Marlins history and the first major league player born in 2003. You remember Jose Fernandez was also the youngest, but he made his Miami debut 250 days after his 20th birthday. So this Yuri Perez is quite young, barely turned 20. He struck out 7 over 4 2/3. He scattered 4 hits and walked 2, 88 pitches, and his fastball topped out at 99 miles an hour. So, all right, he didn't get the win, but he had I would say that was a great first MLB debut outing. Ashcraft on the other side, Graham Ashcraft, 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, struck out 3 in 5 2/3 innings. Jazz Chisholm. I just happened to glance over his name, and Lenny has some more notes about Jazz Chisholm. Batting leadoff for the Marlins. Only batting 227, but hit his 6th home run yesterday. And I know he's stealing bases, so we'll see how that's working out. Jazz Chisholm, 6th home run, solo homer. Peyton Burdick, solo homer. That was his 1st home run of the season. And Stevenson hit a leadoff homer, his 2nd home run of the season. Alexis Diaz closed with a perfect 9th for his 8th save. Jesus Sanchez, who Lenny's been talking up on his podcast, has right hamstring soreness, struck out as a pinch hitter leading off the 9th. He felt discomfort after his 9th inning double on Wednesday in Arizona. So he has been playing as a pinch hitter, which I don't know. Is he a catcher still, or he's an outfielder? He's an outfielder.
Ooh.
Jesus Sanchez. Outfielder. Anyway, he did pinch hit yesterday. He's still feeling discomfort, but he should be okay. Obviously, he's back in the game. Also, Trevor Rogers, he's going to throw a 20-pitch bullpen session today. He's got a left bicep strain, as you know. Nick Lodolo he was scheduled to start the game today. Nick Lodolo, he was scratched for the 2nd time this week. The team has not announced a replacement, so Alcantara is going on the mound for Miami. Also, another thing to note here is I'd like to mention that Alcantara has really taken to this Yuri Perez, this new pitcher in Miami. He went to the airport or the train station to pick him up. He greeted him there, and he's been working with him. So it looks like this little youngster Yuri has a great mentor and friend in Sandy Alcantara. It's nice to see that kind of thing, and that's what's happening. So Seattle beat the Detroit Tigers 9-2. Marco Gonzalez gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 innings. Not bad. Detroit starter Matthew Boyd was horrible. He allowed 6 runs, 5 earned on 5 hits, 4 walks, in 1 1/3, my friends. That's right, 1 1/3. He went 1 1/3. He threw 55 pitches in 1 1/3 innings. Only 28 of those were strikes. 5 earned run, 5 hits, 1 strikeout. Matthew Boyd faced 12 batters, and 9 of them reached base. And the Mariners scored 5 runs in the 2nd inning. Julio Rodriguez had 3 hits, including a home run. He drove in 4 runs. He actually came into the game batting .205 with 6 home runs, so he's been off to a sad start, just like Juan Soto. But honestly, Juan Soto is not as bad as everybody was making him out to be. I think Julio Rodriguez is having a worse start to the season than Juan Soto, batting .205. I don't know what his on-base percentage is, and that does count because that's really where Soto was looking bad with his batting average too, not his on-base percentage. So I don't know if Julio's getting on base, but he did have 3 hits yesterday. It looks like things are coming around for him. Jake Rogers hit a 2-run homer, his 5th homer of the season. Spencer Turnbull, Tigers pitcher, had his option to AAA Toledo rescinded, and he was placed on the 15-day injured list because he's got neck discomfort. That's retroactive to May 7th. Today, you're going to get to see the Mariners' Bryce Miller. He's 1-0 with a .75 ERA. He will face Alex Faedo, whose record is 0-0, and he's got a .386 ERA. In the opener of a 4-game series, the Mets and the Nationals, the Mets did come through yesterday, but I have to say it was really mostly luck that this happened. This was not based on the fact that they played an excellent game. New York had lost 4 of 5 and 13 of 17. They fell to 4th in the National League East before they rallied against the Nationals bullpen yesterday. And by the way, it was like a bases clearing single or something by Lindor that got him that won him the game. But Tyler McGill, he allowed 4 hits and walked 4 in 5 innings, 2 runs, but only 1 of them was earned. Mackenzie Gore needed 96 pitches to navigate 4 scoreless innings. He allowed 5 hits and 2 walks, and he struck out 3. Still didn't allow any runs. Made it through 6 innings. but it did take him a lot of pitches to get there. I still don't think that's the most important thing. Washington took the lead in the first because Boston Paul, your boy, Joey Meneses, two-out RBI single. The Mets have been outscored 35-9 in the first inning this season. Lindor, a 3-run single with 2 outs. This is how they won the game. Lindor. New York became the first team to win 3-2 on a 3-run single since 1986. And Lindor accounted for New York's only hit in 9 at-bats with runners in scoring position. So, once again, this game was not won based on the Mets' skill set, okay? Drew Smith earned his first save. The Mets started the year 14-7. They fell under 500 on last Sunday. Max Scherzer, who was scratched from his scheduled start Tuesday in Cincinnati, threw a 30-pitch bullpen Friday, and Showalter says the right-hander is likely to start Sunday or Monday. This kid, Alou, for the Nationals, he was called up on Monday from Rochester, and he was playing in his second game with the Nationals yesterday. ALU is his name. He hit a single opposite way to left in the second inning for his first hit in the majors, and then moments later he got his first career stolen base. It was Washington's 24th round draft pick in 2019, so this kid, Alou, got his first stolen base and his first career hit. Now, Carlos Carrasco. He's going to make a minor league rehab start tomorrow. Also, Brooks Raley. Showalter says that Brooks Raley will be activated this weekend. Corey Dickerson began a rehab assignment at AAA Rochester. He doubled and scored a run in 3 plate appearances. Lucchesi. He's 1-0 with a 4.38 ERA and 5 career starts against Washington. What the hell? Throw Lucchesi out there today. He's going up against Trevor Williams, who has a 4.25 ERA. He allowed 4 runs in 5 innings against the Mets on April 27th. You know, he pitched for the Mets in 21 and 22, I believe, but he used to be a Mets pitcher. I'm throwing Lucchesi out there to pitch against Trevor Williams today, and I'm going to love every minute of it, okay? All right. Baltimore 6, Pittsburgh 3. The Pirates have lost 10 of 11 since starting the season 20-8. Is Eddie Heckman here?
No.
Eddie, I miss you today. I wanted to talk to you about what I saw. They have the bird bath at Orioles Park. It's Camden Yards, right? The bird bath. It's when somebody gets a hit or somebody does something good. They have this guy out there with a huge hose or a squirt gun or something. His name is Mr. Splash, and he sprays all of the people in the front couple rows. And then the guys in the dugout are doing the same thing. They got water guns. And anyway, water's coming out everywhere. I don't know if that's just, I'm sure it was very hot there, but I never saw this thing called the bird bath until this morning. I thought it was pretty cool. I wish Eddie was here to talk to us about it. Anyways, the Pirates started the season 20-8. Yesterday, they literally blew a 1-run lead twice. Kyle Bradish allowed 3 hits in 6 innings for Baltimore. He struck out 6 with 1 walk. Oviedo pitched 5 innings for the Pirates, 3 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 4 hits. Mullins was the highlight of this game. Cedric Mullins is what caused the bird bath craziness, okay? Because he hit for a cycle, including a 3-run homer. He hit a single in the 3rd, a triple in the 5th, a double in the 7th before he completed the cycle with a drive to right in his very last plate appearance. He became the 7th Oriole to accomplish the feat and the first since Austin Hayes did it last year. Connor Joe hit his 5th home run. Mountcastle led off the bottom of the 6th with the triple, and Felix Bautista, the king of saves, came on and struck out 3 straight hitters for his 9th save and 12 chances. Also, the Orioles recalled lefty Nick Vespi from AAA Norfolk. Tonight you get to see Tyler Wells against Rosie Contreras. Let me have a sip of coffee. Did everybody leave the chat room because of my rant, Leonard?
No.
Okay.
There are 22 people in there.
All right.
So.
All right. The Yankees beat Tampa Bay yesterday. And by the way, they're still last in the American League East. So, holy moly, are the sports broadcasters in New York pissed off. They got nothing good to say, okay? But I will say this. They haven't had good starts to the season. All you hear about all day long on New York AM radio, that's what Lenny and I listen to, New York AM radio. And I'll tell you, they're just going on and on and on. I mean, Lenny told you yesterday and the day before about the New York broadcasters talking about how the Tampa Bay team must be cheating because they're winning all of this. And all you hear about is how they spent all this money in the offseason. And they just, $500 million. And they suck and all of this. And I have to say, and they're pissed off at the Yankees too. But in the Yankees players and the team defense, the Yankees look like they're having fun. They were definitely having fun yesterday. Anthony Rizzo is a fan favorite for sure. He actually leads New York Yankees with home runs this year. He has more home runs than Judge, more home runs than Stanton, more home runs than any other Yankee. And he's fun. Very fun to watch. Yesterday was his bobblehead day, and it was like this Star Wars type themed bobblehead day, and the fans were loving it, and they had lots of like sound effects, and they really put on a show for this bobblehead day. And I just want to reiterate how much fun it looks like Harrison Bader is having on this team, and these other players, they're having a good time. Whether the fans like them or not, they continue to just plow through it, and they did win yesterday. 6-5, beat the best team in baseball. Randy Arozarena homered in the first, and Jose Siri homered in the second. Oh, both off Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole squandered a 6-0 lead in New York's 10-inning loss at the Rays last Sunday and has given up 4 homers against Tampa Bay in 2 starts this season. But I guarantee he'll still be nominated for NL Cy Young, and he'll still have a 3.5-something ERA by the end of the season. That's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't agree with me, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm probably wrong, but I don't like the guy. All right. Rizzo homered twice. It was his bobblehead day, 22nd multi-home run performance of his career. He leads the Yankees with 8 homers, and he also leads the Yankees in RBIs with 20. Josh Lowe, 3-run homer. I love this kid. Yankees rookie Anthony Volpe, he entered in a 7-for-53 slide. He was dropped to 7th in the order after 23 consecutive starts leading off. He tied the score 2-2 with a 5th-inning homer and put the Yankees ahead with a 7th-inning RBI single. There you go. He wants to bat leadoff again. Anthony Volpe coming through for the Yankees. Also, Oswaldo Cabrera, he hit a run-scoring single. I love this kid, too. I wish he could play more often, but I do know that he's been battling some kind of sprained ankle or something. It's not just that they're benching him, but he's got some kind of injury that's bothering him. Anyway, Wander Franco went 0 for 5. That was a day after leaving in the 5th inning because he had neck spasm. Wandy Peralta earned his first save. And Rasmussen, I told you this earlier with the tidbit. He's got a right flexor strain. He was placed on the 60-day injured list 1 day after he blanked the Yankees over 7 innings in an 8-2 win. Rasmussen said he felt nerve discomfort in his right arm. Now, here's the thing about Rasmussen. He's undergone Tommy John surgery twice in his career. And he did say, of course he said he's hopeful that this injury is not going to require the operation. But just because he even brought it up, you have to wonder about it. That's a right flexor strain. I don't know. He's mentioning Tommy John, and that's pretty scary. He's already had that surgery twice. So, holy moly, that could end his career, literally. And he was doing great, too. So, that's the big loss. Tonight, you get to see Shane McClanahan. He is going to try to join Matt Moore from 2013 and Charlie Morton from 2019 as the only Tampa Bay pitchers to open a season 8-0. He's going up against Nestor Cortez, who is 2 2-3 with a 3.74 ERA in 11 games against the Rays. You got to take McClanahan tonight. But I got to say it one more time. I don't know if you heard me because I was getting a call on Lenny's phone, and I know it cuts off the sound for a second. Anyway, Rizzo and the team are having a great time, no matter what, even though they're last in the American League East. That's hard to believe. Okay. Toronto beat Atlanta 3-0. Atlanta lost a series opening road game for the first time this season after winning 6 straight to start the season. The Braves came in with a major league best 15-3 road record. Atlanta was held scoreless for the second time this season, and Toronto improved to 10-3 at home. Chris Bassett, I told you he tossed the second shutout of his career, and the first for the Toronto Blue Jays in almost 8 years, the longest streak without a complete game in MLB history. Chris Bassett, maybe not MLB history, but current. I'm not really sure if it's MLB history or what it was, but it was the longest streak. Anyway, Bassett's 5-2, extended his scoreless inning streak to a career-high 20. He struck out 8 and walked 2. It was the first shutout since 2015 for the Blue Jays. Bassett's previous career best scoreless streak was 18 1/3 innings with Oakland in July and August of 2015. That's when we all noticed Chris Bassett and probably started drafting him that year because he was great in Oakland that year. And remember, he was not a youngster either. He was like 30 when he started pitching really good, or 29. Anyway, the shutout last night was Toronto's 6th shutout this season. Spencer Strider, even though I just was ranting about how great he was, he struck out 12 yesterday in 6 2/3. It took him 110 pitches to get through those innings, but 1 earned run. So he pitched, you could say he pitched as well or better, even though Bassett went all 9 innings. Strider lost for the first time in 8 starts this season, allowing 2 runs and 5 hits in 6 2/3, struck out 12. He leads the league in strikeouts with 79. Not that much of a surprise, right? Dalton Varsho hit a solo home run. That was his 6th homer of the season, and that was after he struck out 3 times on the night. Rosario, 1-out double in the 5th, was Atlanta's first hit of the game, but he was thrown out trying to steal 3rd. Bryce Elder starts for the Braves today against Blue Jays' Jose Berrios. Bryce Elder, 3-0 with a 1.74 ERA. I still don't trust him against Berrios. Berrios is too good of a pitcher to continue pitching this bad. I don't know if he's ever going to pull it all together, but he is an exciting pitcher to watch, and he really does have talent. He's missing something. He needs to go to a team with an excellent, excellent pitching coach. Maybe he'd do good in Arizona, even though their ballpark isn't great for pitchers. Maybe he'd do great in San Francisco, where they've turned pitchers around like DeSclafani and Gaussman and Wood and Cobb, all of these guys that San Francisco's got great pitching. I really wish Berrios would get some proper pitching help. I'm not trying to blame the pitching coach in Toronto because Berrios has never put it together. Even when he was with Minnesota, he wasn't great. It seems like Minnesota's figured it out, though. Maybe they got a new pitching coach when they sent Berrios away. I don't know. But they have great pitching in Minnesota this year. The 5-year Cleveland curse is finally over for the Angels. The Angels held on for a 5 victory to end a 10-game losing streak at Progressive Field. All right, this is their 12th comeback win this season. They got their first victory in Cleveland since 2018 and just their second in 23 games since 2015. They've had a massive curse. The Cleveland Guardians beat the Angels for years, and they finally maybe broke that curse. The Guardians were 13-0 when leading after 8 innings. Now they're 14-0, I believe. Tyler Anderson, 6 innings, 1 strikeout, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. And you got Logan Allen, 3 earned runs, 4 1/3, 5 strikeouts, 96 pitches in 4 1/3. Ohtani went 0 for 2. He reached base 3 times, though, 2 walks and 1 time on catcher's interference. Earlier this week, Ohtani joined Babe Ruth as the only players. These are the only 2 players with 100 career homers and 500 strikeouts on the mound. I'm talking about hitting the 100 homers and striking out 500 batters. Last year, Ohtani became the first player to win at least 10 games as a pitcher while hitting 30 home runs. Ahmed Rosario led the American League with 9 triples last season, and yesterday he hit his 4th triple of the season. Josh Naylor hit a 442-foot home run for number 4 on the season. Emmanuel Clase got a loss yesterday, 1 inning pitch, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout. He actually broke 100 mile an hour on 13 of 27 pitches in the inning, so 27 pitches to get through an inning. Carlos Estevez, 9th save yesterday. Doesn't have any competition anymore, so. All right, some injury updates here. You have Jared Walsh. He's got headaches and insomnia now. This guy's falling apart. What is going on with him? He used to be good. I drafted him as a sleeper. He's got headaches and insomnia now. Good grief. There's plenty of medication for insomnia.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, right. Neither of us have insomnia in this house, okay? We sleep every day like little babies, and it's great. All right. Jared Walsh is expected to play for AAA Sacramento today. He's been seeing a specialist and recently said he's feeling better after being sidelined with debilitating symptoms. Cleveland pitcher Tristan McKenzie threw a 20-pitch bullpen session with no issues at the team's facility in Goodyear, Arizona. On Thursday, he's made progress, and he could be back with the team by the end of May. Mike Zunino was a late scratch with neck stiffness, and tonight you get to see the Angels start the second of 3 straight lefties in the series. They get Reed Detmers tonight facing Cal Quantrill. Is SM King Turd here?
Let's see. Was. Yes, he is.
Hello, King Turd. I hope you didn't give up on Reed Detmers too quick. I seriously am not ready to give up on him, even though I know he sucks. He's got a 5.10 ERA, and he's 0-3. If I was playing daily today, I'd probably take Cal Quantrill over Reed Detmers because, he's 2-2, but he still is not doing great. Actually, I'm going to roll with Reed Detmers tonight. I think his last couple outings have been decent, at least in the sense that he's throwing a lot of innings. I think. I can't remember for sure, but I see some progress being made with Reed Detmers, and I'm not willing to give up on him yet. St. Louis, all right. St. Louis beat Boston 8-6. Nolan Gorman hit a go-ahead 2-run homer off Kenley Jansen in the 9th inning. That was the Cardinals' second straight series opener. After losing their first 11 series openers this season, they've won 2 in a row. They've also won for the 4th time in the last 5 games, and Boston lost for just the 3rd time in 12 games. James Paxton was back, struck out 9 over 5 innings. It was his first Major League appearance in 2 years for the Red Sox. Wainwright gave up 4 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings. It was his second start of the season because he missed the first 33 games with the groin injury. He suffered a groin injury while he was working out at the World Baseball Classic. But anyway, Emmanuel Valdez and Connor Wong homered on consecutive pitches off of Adam Wainwright. Nolan Arenado had a 2-run homer. He also had 4 hits, so he had 4 hits, including a 2-run homer. Wilson Contreras got a solo home run. Nolan Gorman's home run number 9 on the season. That's pretty impressive. Jarren Duran had 2-run single. Kenley Jansen became the 7th player to earn 400 saves on Wednesday night. He couldn't close this one out. 22 pitches, 12 for strikes, 3 earned runs, and no strikeouts. Ryan Helsley picked up the win. All right, injury updates for this is Tyler O'Neill will likely start a rehab assignment with AAA Memphis next week, and manager Alex Cora says that the Red Sox pitcher Garrett Whitlock will make a rehab start for AAA Worcester next week. How many rehab starts has this guy made this year? Honestly, I bet you he's made 2 times the number of rehab starts that he's made actual starts. Or 3 times. It's bad. All right. Tonight you get to see Steven Matz, who's 0-4 with a 5.70 ERA, against Chris Sale, who even has a worse ERA than Steven Matz. He's 3-2 with a 6.37. However, he had a solid start last time out. He struck out 10 and he went 6 innings last Friday. So he's looking for a consecutive solid start, Chris Sale. And by the way, once again, I'll note, the pitching ninja, you guys all know the pitching ninja. He's on Twitter. He's great. He observes pitchers and he tells us what he sees, and he has noticed that Kenley Jansen and Chris Sale are both pitching like 99 miles an hour sometimes. And that is due to the fact that the Boston Red Sox got a pitching lab, a velocity lab. That's great. I find that very interesting, as you could tell.
Come on, hitting an hour.
All right, I have 10 minutes, and I have a couple more games, so leave me alone. Chicago beat the Twins. The Cubbies beat the Twins 6-2. The Twins had only 4 hits, and they've scored just 30 runs in 10 games this month. They're still in first place in the AL Central for all but 2 days this season. So this was their 4th game in May with 4 hits or fewer. So, yeah, the Twins aren't holding on very tightly. The Cubbies are 3rd in batting average and 5th in ERA in the majors, but they're at the 500 mark, and they're trailing Pittsburgh and Milwaukee in the National League Central. Drew Smyly pitched 6 strong innings for the Cubbies, and that was the opening night of a 9-game road trip. Smyly surrendered 4 hits and 2 runs with 4 strikeouts and won his 4th consecutive decision. You have Sonny Gray, on the other hand. 1.39 ERA is the best in baseball among qualified pitchers. Yesterday, he struck out 9 and 5 1/3 with 4 hits and 1 run allowed. Christopher Morel hit a 2-run homer. Ian Happ had 3 hits. Mervis had the hardest hit ball of the night. Yay, Matt Mervis, 108.5 miles per hour, and it went 408 feet. Now, Carlos Correa grounded into 2 inning-ending double plays and was booed again by the fans at Target Field, who are expecting more production after he signed for $200 million. The jeers would have been more pronounced, but there was a ton of Cubby fans at the game. It was a crowd of 30,037. 30037. Correa went 1 for 4 with a double. He's batting 193. Byron Buxton went 0 for 3 to stretch his hitless streak to 25 straight at bats. Now look, Byron Buxton goes through ups and downs. That's the way it is. He starts out the season every year on fire. All you got to do is pray that he won't get hurt, because if he doesn't get hurt, he'll be fine. It will all come out in the wash at the end. Nico Horner was placed on the injured list prior to the game, strained left hamstring. They say the hope is a minimum 10-day stint, retroactive to Tuesday. So this guy's been very good, so we hope that he'll come back soon. Tonight you get to see Hayden Wesneski against Joe Ryan. Houston Astros beat the White Sox 5-1. No surprise there. The teams and the fans waited more than 2-hour delay at the start. The White Sox honored Jose Abreu. They had a pregame video tribute. They honored him again on Quick Pitch today. He went 1 for 5 with a single, but he's batting .218. He still hasn't hit his first home run of the season after he signed $58.5 million 3-year contract. J.P. France, he pitched 3-hit ball into the 7th inning in his second outing. That's great. He went into the 7th inning. He was playing cards, and I will tell this story real quick, but I'm running out of time. He was playing cards in the dugout during the 2-hour rain delay, and he was getting his ass kicked, and he was making jokes because he says this: every time I would play cards down in the minors, he said, and he would get destroyed when he would play cards, but every time I would get destroyed, I would have a good outing. So that's what he told the guy who was playing cards with: look, you kicked my ass, but now I'm going to have a great outing. And he did. 6 2/3 innings, 1 run, and 1 walk. Michael Kopech threw 94 pitches. 48 of them were strikes. career high 6 walks. He also hit a batter. The White Sox lost again after dropping 3 of 4 at Kansas City. That's no bueno. Kyle Tucker walked and hit an RBI double. He also scored a run. Back-to-back doubles by Maldonado and Mauricio Dubon. Yordan Alvarez homered in his second straight game. He's up to number 9. And Luis Robert hit a solo homer. That's actually his 9th of the season. Altuve was set to begin a rehab with AAA on Friday. I'm going to have to cut some of this stuff out because I'm running out of time. I just can't finish it all. I have too much shit. I did a lot of work on this. All right. We're going over today by a few. Okay. Milwaukee Brewers 5, Kansas City 1. Owen Miller went 3 for 4 with a homer and a double. Corbin Burns pitched 6 shutout innings. The Brewers beat the Royals. The Brewers look like a great team. I bet you they're going to win the National League Central. Owen Miller hit a first home run since the Brewers acquired him from Cleveland, and he is a Wisconsin native. He homered in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th, and singled and scored in the 7th. It was 5th career 3-hit game. 3 of those have come against the Royals. All right, because Milwaukee won yesterday and the Pittsburgh Pirates...
Everybody wants you to have more time. So go ahead.
I'm just going to finish what we have. We have like 3 more games.
All right, just do it. Everybody says more time for Andy.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. All right. So, Milwaukee's victory and along with Pittsburgh Pirates' loss yesterday, that enabled the Brewers to regain a half-game lead in the National League Central. The Brewers have won just 3 of their last 11 games, but the Pirates have lost 10 of 11. Corbin Burns struck out 7, allowed 2 hits, threw a season-high 104 pitches, but he also was just 1 off of his career-high walks. He walked 4 batters yesterday, so yes, I know, he pitched good, but he still walked 4 batters in 6 innings, and that sucks if you want to get to the nitty and the gritty of it. Kansas City got just 3 hits all night. Okay. Salvador Perez was scratched from the lineup due to a little bit of blurry vision, but the Royals manager, they say they had him in the original lineup, but they say that he already received treatment from a specialist and it's not anything long-term or serious. You'll probably see him back in the lineup today or tomorrow. Tonight you get to see Zach Greinke against Adrian Hauser. Bryce Harper. Now we get to talk about Bryce Harper. Whoop-de-doo. I love this guy. Phillies beat Colorado 6-3. Bryce Harper broke an 8th-inning tie with a 2-run double, his 300th career double. Kyle Schwarber hit a 2-run homer. The Phillies rallied to beat the Rockies 6-3 for their 4th straight win. The Phillies reached to 500 now. They have a 500 record. It was Phillies' 9th win in 10 tries against Colorado. They started the season 7-20 in April. The Rockies had won 8 of 10 and were coming off a 4-2 road trip. But Austin Garber, was charged with 3 runs and 5 hits. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 6 in 6 1/3 innings. Taijuan Walker went 6 innings, 3 strikeouts, 3 earned runs on 7 hits. Austin Gomer used a dominant knuckle curve to retire his first 14 batters and faced the minimum 19 until Alec Boehm came up and hit a 433-foot solo homer to left field. 3 batters later, Schwarber hit a 430-foot homer, and that was it for Austin Gomer. Craig Kimbrell got his 4th save. JT Realmuto exited in the 7th because of a sprained right pinky because he slid head first into 3rd base. He should not be sliding head first into any base. That's just me. Anyway, he said he was planning on taking the rest of yesterday off, but that he is expected to play today. Jose Alvarado, the pitching phenom closer potential guy, he's got elbow inflammation. He was feeling better and he could start throwing before the end of the road trip. Antonio Senzatella is out at least 2 months with a sprained UCL. they actually went and picked up on the waivers. They picked up Chase Anderson, and he's expected to start on Tuesday against Cincinnati. Tonight you get to see Ranger Suarez against Ryan Feltner. Arizona beat San Francisco 7-5. Dominic Fletcher, remember the name, hit his first Major League homer. He also doubled in the go-ahead run in the 6th inning. He also had 4 RBIs. He helped Arizona rally past the Giants, ending their 3-game losing streak. So here's Fletcher, 25-year-old, made his debut on April 30, raised his batting average to .457, even though he's hitting 9th in the order. He said what really helped him out and got him started for the season was playing for Italy in the World Baseball Classic with his brother David. San Francisco went 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Lourdes Gurriel, RBI double. Jock Peterson, 2-run homer. He was hit on the right hand by Scott Mago's pitching in the 8th inning and later left the game. Gabe Kapler said Jock Peterson went for x-rays and the team is awaiting results. Michael Conforto went deep on the 12th pitch of his at-bat, his 6th home run on the season. He actually tied the mark for the most pitches seen by a Giants batter in a plate appearance, ending with the home run since 1988. Evan Longoria hit a home run. Christian Walker was ejected. That's the first time he ever got ejected in his entire career. Tonight you get to see DeSclafani against Zach Gallen. And as much as I like Sclafani, I will say stay away from him tonight. Zach Gallen will crush him. Okay, Alex Wood, he has a left hamstring strain. He was activated from the injured list and gave up a run in the 7th. Alex Wood, is he in the bullpen? Mantiply, left-handed pitcher Mantiply for Diamondbacks, placed on the 15-day injured list, right hamstring strain. Oakland beat Texas 9-7. The Major League worst A's, who are 9-31, they won a walk-off hit for the 3rd time this season and snapped a 5-game losing streak. Their crowd was 6,575, which is like 3 times what it was a week ago. So, all right, it's still really bad. All right, the loss prevented the Rangers from matching their best record through 38 games since 2013. The Rangers, A's starter Ken Waldichuk struck out 5 in 5 innings. He allowed 7 hits and 4 runs. He's a youngster. Give him a break. He still walked 5. Martin Perez, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. He allowed a home run to Ruiz on his first pitch and gave up 2 other home runs, matching his career high. He permitted 8 hits in 5 innings with 3 strikeouts. And Brent Rooker, he was like the hero of the game. Brent Rooker and Esteury Ruiz homered. Brent Rooker homered. A 3-run homer. I think that was his 11th homer of the season, okay? Is that crazy? Esteury Ruiz homered and drove in 4 runs. Kevin Smith and Carlos Perez also hit home runs. Robbie Grossman homered and had an RBI double. Jonah Heim added 2 hits to extend his hitting streak to 11 games. And I told you his OPS is way out there. Shintaro Fujinami finally got a win. He got his first career win. He retired 2 batters. Laureano cleared concussion protocol and started in left field yesterday. Tonight you get to see John Gray against J.P. Sears. The Dodgers beat the Padres 4-2, which sucks. I'm really rooting for the Padres. The poor Padres. Here's the thing. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman stole the show. They homered back-to-back in the 7th inning, and the Dodgers defeated the Padres 4-2 for their 3rd straight victory. The Padres dropped below 500. They've lost 3 in a row and 5 of the last 6. The Padres rallied to tie the game 2-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 2nd. But with 1 out, Betts hit a 426-foot homer. And Freeman back-to-back with a 370-foot homer. Dustin May retired his first 10 batters, allowed 2 runs and 5 hits in 6 2/3. San Diego had 5 lefties in their lineup yesterday. Blake Snell, 2 runs and 4 hits, struck out 4, and get this, he walked 4. That's not good. Xander Bogaerts stole a base yesterday. Evan Phillips, he earned his 7th save, pitching 1 1/3 innings, and Caleb Ferguson got 2 outs for the win. Luis Campusano, this is the Padres catcher. He had surgery on his left thumb. He will be out at least 8 weeks, so you know what that means. What's his name? The catcher? I forget his name, but I have him on my teams. Campusano, the catcher for the Padres, sprained left thumb. He'll be out 8 weeks. Syndergaard is going to throw a bullpen today. He's got a cut on his right index finger, and it was all covered up with glue. You know how, like, in college and stuff, where you learn how to glue up your cuts with super glue? Anyway, he's got adhesive on his finger because he hurt himself. He got a really bad cut on one of his fingers last time he was out. They reinstated JD Martinez from the injured list. I told you that yesterday or at the beginning of this show, but get this. Ferguson was activated off the paternity list. He's the 5th Dodgers player to have a baby within the first 1.5 months of the season. I love it. More babies. Okay. Joe Musgrove tonight. He's going to face LA for the second straight start. He allowed 1 run and 2 hits in 5 innings, and he struck out 5 last weekend, but he lost. Julio Urias. He's 6-1 in 16 career games against the Padres. That's it. Hope you have a great day. I went 6 minutes over. Tomorrow, that's probably because I ranted for 6 minutes at the beginning. Thanks to everybody who stuck around. You will hear Lady and the Legend tomorrow. And, Lenny, you got anything?
I love you.
Love ya.